Thank you, Pastor Daly. Good afternoon, everybody. I have the distinct honor of introducing my big brother and a real mentor to me over the years. So I will read his profile very briefly, and immediately I'm going to get off the mic and hand the mic to the person we want to hear from. So Mr. Fela Durotoye is the Chief Executive Officer of the Gemstone Group, which is a leadership development institution aimed at raising leaders of excellence and exemplary values who will be committed to building Nigeria into a most desirable nation to live in by December 31st, 2025. I believe it's a Wednesday. He's the CEO of that company. Fela Durotoye, fondly referred to as FD, we know him as FD. He's one of Nigeria's most sought-after speakers. He's a renowned leadership consultant and an executive coach. He's a best-selling author. The book, 17 Secrets of High-Flying Students, which is aimed at raising young leaders to achieve academic excellence, has been sold multiple times over. Fela Durotoye is considered one of Nigeria's leading corporate activators, business consultants, and national development strategists. He's a guest lecturer on leadership at the prestigious Stanford University, which that is a seed program to CEOs of businesses with operations within and outside of Africa. The list of corporate clients in the private sector that have been assisted by Fela Durotoye in their quest for phenomenal service leadership and corporate transformation management include Access Bank, GT Bank, First Bank, Zenith Bank, FCMB, Diamond Bank, Fidelity, United Bank for Africa, which is UBA, Sky Bank, Stanbic IBTC, and Standard Chartered Bank. That is just in the banking sector. His clients in the oil and gas sector include Shell Petroleum, Oando, Total, Masters Energy, Bell Oil, and the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas. All of these companies depend and heavily rely on his consultancy and his expertise and advice. In the telecom sector, his clients include Airtel, MTN, Etisalat, and MultiChoice Nigeria. In manufacturing and consumer goods, his clients include Lafarge, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Nestle, Sanofi, Pfizer. I mean, these are household names that we all know, okay? In the public sector / in the multilateral world, his clients include the African Finance Corporation, the European Union, which is the EU Nigeria office, and ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, as well as the state governments of Lagos, Oyo, Kwara, Abia, Anambra, Rivers, Ondo, and Ekiti. He sits on multiple boards that we cannot even begin to name right now. He is renowned for history making on the national and global stage. On the 12th of December 2009, Fela Durotoye organized the largest, and I repeat, the largest ever volunteer-driven urban renewal project titled Mushin Makeover. What did they do? This is what they did. He mobilized over 2,000 volunteers to paint almost 300 houses for free, along with the painting of over 3 kilometers of road and about 20 bus stops. All of this was accomplished in one day without any government support and without any government funding, free of charge. On November 24th, 2012, Fela Durotoye organized the Making of Gemstone Global Reading Festival, where over 12,000 students worldwide across 18 state capitals and 9 countries read aloud in their various locations selected sections of Fela's book, The 17 Secrets of High-Flying Students, at the exact same moment in time, coordinating across multiple time zones. It's not a small feat. One of Fela's most significant contributions to nation building is the value system, and this is the way through which I got to know FD, this value system, which he developed and is currently being endorsed and actively promoted by over 1 million Nigerians across all genders, tribes, social class, and religious affiliation. The 10 values have now been articulated into a personal creed and is being adopted by individuals, organizations, professional associations such as the APEN, which is the Association of Private Educators of Nigeria, the Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineers, and the Mortgage Bank Association of Nigeria. And more recently, this value system has been adopted by several government agencies and parastatals. Okay, in 2014, the government of Anambra State formally endorsed and adopted the 10 values for its citizens. an entire state says what this man developed is worthy of adoption for the entire state of Anambra. And also, in November 2014, the government of Lagos State trained 500 of its top civil servants across ministries and agencies using this 10 values system. The Values Infusion Project is the largest non-governmental effort at reorienting the citizens of a nation and integrating a value system into our nation's consciousness in recent times. I'm going to wrap up soon, but it's important that we know who we have been blessed to have in our midst today. In 2019, this year, as we all know, and I want a big round of applause for this, Fela Durotoye contested in the 2019 general elections for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, running against the establishment under the Alliance for a New Nigeria party. His participation into politics saw a greater awareness and involvement of Nigerian youth in politics. Okay? Fela Durotoye is the recipient of more awards than we know and can list, industry and national and foreign, for his leadership development and for his nation-building activities. He was recently honored as a United Nations Ambassador for Peace, as well as given the prestigious Nigerian Achievers Award. All right? In 2015, Fela concluded the supernumerary police training program at the Nigerian Police Training Academy in Ikeja. And he didn't just go to the police training college to train, he received a distinguished student award for graduating and passing with flying colors from the parade. Anything this man does is excellent. That's what he strives to do. Okay? Final paragraph. Fela holds, now we're talking about academics, so you know pedigree. Listen to these big titles. Fela holds a bachelor's degree in computer science with economics, so that's first degree. A master's degree in business administration, which is the second degree. A master's of philosophy degree in strategic management, which is the third degree. From the great Obafemi Awolowo University, Great Ife. But he's just getting started. He is also an alumnus of the Harvard Kennedy School of Government in Boston, as well as the very prestigious Leadership Institute in Arlington, Virginia, in the United States. He is married, as most of us know, to Tara, who is a highly successful makeup and beauty entrepreneur. And she is also the CEO of a fashion powerhouse called House of Tara. And together, they are blessed with 3 boys who think their dad is a superhero. Listen, let us rise with a standing ovation. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to invite to the stage a nation builder, a best-selling author, a change agent, a leadership consultant, a founder and CEO, a highly sought-after speaker, a presidential candidate, and above all, a bona fide child of God. Welcome to you.
Is it okay for me to please just ask you? I know this is supposed to be, in a way, a seminar. But I want you to please help me to thank someone. And I'll explain to you who that person is. And then you decide how to thank him. I said him already, so you have an idea who he is. But I'll give you a quick story that will help you to understand why I want you to thank him in a very special way. So, and I know you're standing, okay? So the story won't be long. So I'm the most average human being that I have ever met. If anybody were to come into this room and was to ask somebody at the door, I'm looking for a tall guy, would they think about me? No, they wouldn't. I know they won't think about it. But if they said they were looking for one short, rara guy like this, would they think about me? Not likely, okay? Why? Because I'm not tall and I'm not short. If they come in and they say, look, I'm looking for one dark-skinned guy, would they think about me? No. If they say, oh, we're looking for this light-skinned guy, would they think about me? Because I'm not light, I'm not dark. Really, look at me. I'm not fat, I'm not thin. I was born to university lecturers. They were not rich, they were not poor. I graduated my bachelor's degree with a second-class lower division, 2-2. I'm not a genius, I'm not a dunce. You understand? If they come in here, they say they're looking for one war guy like this, you won't think about me. If they say they're looking for one Mr. Nigeria like this, you won't think about me. I'm not fine, I'm not ugly. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. I am just an average guy. And for many years, I used to be so upset because people would say to me, you look like my cousin. Everybody, I look like everybody's cousin. I have the face of a common man. I don't know what, I'm not joking, guys. And so for many years, I used to be so upset as, why am I so ordinary? And one day, he that I want you to thank said to me, when you understand the purpose of your design, you will be comfortable with the makeup that you have. And so I said, what is it that, why am I not taller than this? Because I'm the shortest man by far in the entire Durotoye clan. The next tallest person to me is 6 foot, about 6 foot or 6 feet. My father is 6 foot 1 inches. The whole Durotoye clan, they're like mountains. I'm like the valley in the middle of those mountains. So I grew up looking down on myself. And God said to me, I made you so average so that nobody else will have an excuse. I want the world to see what an extraordinary God can do with an average man. So everything you hear, everything you see, that's you guys. There is nothing special about this guy standing in front of you, except that he's in the hand of one who is extraordinary. And it is to that one that I ask you to please raise your hands. Jam those hands. Does anybody understand? Who is he? Who is he? Do I need to tell you his name? I'm sure you can shout it. I am so grateful to God for the making of this man. But I want you to understand that anything you hear and see today is not to impress you, it's to challenge you. It's to inspire you. Because there is a scripture that I want you to hold on to as you go into today and through life. And it says, no eye has seen, no ear. It has not even come into the contemplation of humankind what God has in store for who? No, wait. No. Sorry, for who? Stop it. It is for me. No, not you. It's not you, for me. Okay, point, I'm the guest speaker. Point to me. No, I didn't say point to you. I said point to me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Anything that anyone has achieved is the least that God expects of you. Because he has not yet done his best work yet. So everything he does is better and brighter. So everything you are yet to do is better and brighter than what has already been done. Do you get it? And he's the one who works in you. You just have to allow him. Does anybody understand? There's no need for struggle. I want you to watch this short video. Then you will see what God can do with an ordinary man. You heard about it, the video around the project called Mushi Makeover. We started this project with 130,000 naira, which I don't know what the exchange rate for UAE is. 100 to 1. So 130,000 is what? 1,300 dirhams is what we started a project that ended up costing 88 million naira. Right? And that 88 million did not come from me. It only came to the project in forms of donations, cash, and everything. I want you to watch this video very quickly, but remember, everything you are watching is calling onto something inside you. Don't watch as if you are trying to see one great guy. It's not about the great guy. It's about the God that we all share and what he can do through one. And if he can do it through one, he can do it through all. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Are you going to put your hands together for God again? All right. Please start the video again and then just give us some volume. Thank you. Please be seated, everyone. what was wrong to where we started to alter what was wrong to sin.
I had the privilege of working with Fela from 2005 till about 2010. He's a mentor, he's been my boss. He's a leader that I incredibly believe in. He's someone who I've had the privilege of knowing perhaps for about 13 years. One of the things that I love about him the most is the fact that this man truly loves Nigeria. This is someone I've known who's been walking the talk since 2004, all without even aspiring for a position. I can remember the Mushin Makeover project. I remember how it started. I think we're driving from training one of those days and we happened to pass through Mushin trying to beat traffic, and Fela happened to remark one day and he said, imagine the quality of life we would be able to give people in Mushin if we're able to just touch up their homes a bit and just, paints the freeway and paints the bus stops, and it will increase, their values in their hearts and make them excited. And he was talking about this and I'm like, dude, we're consultants. That's none of our business. Let's mind our business. But it became an obsession. He started talking about it. He kept talking about it. And I saw little by little how the idea began to get bigger. So he approached some of the residents, I think the associations of landlords and stuff, and said, we would like to come, purely voluntary, to paint as many houses as you give us permission to at no cost, And most people didn't agree because they thought it was a scam. We were met with immediate opposition. We went to literally many of the houses and spoke to the landlords. Ultimately, we got approval from about 296 owners to paint their homes. And most people didn't think that we'd do it. They just thought, people are just coming. They're just coming to help us and say they will do, they won't do, And Fela goes on Facebook and says, listen guys, let's paint Mushin. And he came up with an acronym, I hope I can remember, Making Unique Stars and Heroes in Nigeria, Mushin. And he put it out there and said, we have an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people. Let's go to Mushin on a Saturday let's paint Mushin. Bring a bucket of paint, bring a brush, bring your paint. That's all you need. And on that day, I literally saw slightly over 2,000 volunteers who came out on Mushin Makeover. Area boys, police officers, celebrities. We had Banky W there, Sound Sultan, even Wizkid back in the day, joined together to paint 296 houses, an entire median strip, bus stops, and they did it for free. And I looked at what was happening that day and I said, man, this is how one day we'll build Nigeria, where everyone is gonna grab a brush, everybody's gonna bring their own paint, everybody's gonna do what they're doing.
This is awesome.
This is great. This is great.
Awesome. We have the transformation. This is how Nigeria is going to be transformed. Just like that.
Everyone had a sense of achievement. We all had a sense of fulfillment. People were buying water, they were buying food for each other. It was such an amazing moment to see someone who had one vision about something that did not concern him, who should have been minding his business, but saw an opportunity to make the lives of so many people better, and we did it. And I believe that if we have someone like that, not just at the highest office in the land, but cascaded right across the entire spectrum of our Nigerian leadership space, we'll have an incredible country.
Like the same way some people woke up in the morning, they were in an old Nigeria. By evening time, they're in a new Nigeria. That's how we're going to do it. Yes. So we've gone. All right. I believe there's some people on this side. Okay, so I have to find a way to stand and we can share our attention, all right? All right. Hello, Dubai. Come on, I want to hear your energy. Hello, Dubai. It's great to be here. My name is Fela Durotoye. I'm glad to be here. And I know many people, when you think Fela, you say to yourself, Fela might be, in fact, on my way here, I met a Malawian and a Congolese who, every time I introduced myself as Fela, they said to me, oh, are you related to Fela Kuti? I'm sure many of you have heard that kind of thing before. But so I had to explain to them that no. Fela is not Fela Kuti, even though I think he's a great guy. We can discuss purpose issues later. Whether he fulfilled purpose or not, we can talk about that. But one thing I know was that he was an incredibly great, gifted guy. And he had the capacity to be able to influence and mobilize a group of people, many of whom felt that they were left behind. True or false? For those of you who know him. And he used his giftings to, in a sense, achieve that influence. And in one way, that tells us a bit about the whole issues of purpose. Because how many of us here agree that everything that was created or everything that exists was created? How many people agree? Everything that exists was created. I'm going to ask you about 3 or 4 questions. Please humor me. Just work with me. How many of you agree that everything that was created by a creator? No, let me see your hand. It's okay. Please. How many of you agree that everything that was created by a creator was created for a reason? In other words, the creator had a reason in mind when he or she created what was created that we now know exists. Let me see your hand then. I have just one more. How many of you believe that every creator puts in its creation everything it needs to fulfill the reason why it was created? I'm going to say that again. I think somebody's trying to catch that. How many of you believe that every creator puts in the creation everything the creation needs to fulfill the reason why it exists? So if you don't mind, can I then summarize and say that every creator creates its creation to succeed in the purpose for which it was created? No, I'm going to say that again. I know. Did you get what I just said? Write it down. Should I say it slowly? You remember where we started from? We all agreed that everything that exists was created. We all agreed that everything that was created by a creator. So I can know that I'm still connected. We all agree that everything that was created by a creator was created for a reason. We all agree that everything that was created by a creator was equipped with what it needs to fulfill the reason why it was created. So let me be clear. A plane was equipped with everything it will need to fly before it was ever put in the air. They didn't put it in the air and then say, what do we need? I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. The bulb was created and given everything it needs to shine before there was ever light. Do you understand what I'm saying? The air conditioner was given everything it needs to cool. The car was given everything it needs to move on land. The boat was given everything it needs to sail. Yes or no? So let me come back to the most important point I want to make today. That everything was created to succeed. But if you say everything was created to succeed, then you must understand that success can only be measured one way. It can only be measured by whether the thing fulfilled the reason why it was created or not. Does that make sense? Are you sure? How many of you ever did this thing in primary school? Especially when the teachers are not there. Aha, I know you went there. What were we using to do the pencil? Anybody remember that? We'll take our pencils and you do bum bum. Somebody will hit the desk. Bum bum, bum bum. You don't remember? And then the teacher will come in and say, Durotoye. And I'm thinking, why is it always Durotoye? He says, it's you and your gang. And then the next thing, usually it's always maths teacher. Now this is where I will know which generation you belong. And I said, bring out your Lacombs. How many people use Lacombs here? And some people are looking at us, what's Lacombs? Come on, guy, I went to British International High. And so you bring out and say, turn to page 38 and do exercise 1, 2, and 3. And so you quickly rush, bring out your Lacombs and your math notes. And the moment you put your pencil to the paper, what happens? What happens to the pencil? It breaks. The lead breaks. If you are like me, thankfully, I always come equipped with sharpener. And so you bring out the sharpener and you do... You remember that? And the moment you see the lead, you are excited. Because some people have already started their own. They are already done exercise 1A. You are still sharpening pencil. And the moment you try to pull the pencil out of the sharpener, what happens to the lead? It breaks. So now they have started 1B now. And you do that and it breaks again. And if you are like me, you begin to cry. What is wrong with this pencil? Anybody ever did that? Wondered what was wrong with your pencil? After does anybody know why? Why did the pencil lead break? I can hear you. It was not meant for what? It was meant to write. But that doesn't mean it cannot produce the sound that a drumstick can produce. But that is not the reason why it was created. It was not given everything it had to succeed as a drumstick. It was given everything it had to succeed as a writing tool. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? And the fact that it can produce the sound of a drumstick does not mean that it was fulfilling purpose. Does somebody understand that? Sorry, are we there? So let's start together. We're going to say this together. I want you to close your eyes and say it with me. Let's close your eyes. Don't worry, nobody will touch you. I want you to close your eyes and say it with me. Are you there? Let's start. We're going to say it 2 times, but we're going to start. Say with me, everything that exists was created. Everything that was created by a creator. Then say with me, everything that was created by a creator was created for a reason. Then say with me, every creator, say it now, equips its creation with everything it will need to succeed at the reason why the creation was created. Now say with me, I was created by a creator for a reason. And I was equipped with everything I would need to succeed in my purpose for which I was created. Is that not something for you to shout about? If you say this thing every morning, you will realize that success is not a goal. Success is not an aspiration. Success is your nature. Success was embedded in you at the point of creation because success was essentially everything you needed to be able to do why you were created. So success is your DNA. You are already built to succeed in the thing that you were created for. The only problem is if you now yourself and use yourself for everything different from what you were created for. The only problem is if you were created to be in Dubai and you found your way to Abu Dhabi. At this point in time, now you may be applying what you were created for a different reason. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So the entire pursuit of purpose should be the number one and almost the only reason why you exist. Because the only reason why a bulb exists is to shine. The only reason why a television exists is to show. The only reason why a sound speaker or a speaker exists is to sound, is to produce sound. You can place things on a speaker. You can even turn a speaker into a desk and write on it. But that was not the reason why it was created. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So I want us to settle this matter once and for all in your heart. That you were created to succeed. Let's do it 7 times. Close your eyes. I want you to say it with every single belief in your heart. I was created to succeed. Success is my nature. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Shout it this last time. Success is not a goal. You are not supposed to pursue success. You are already successful. Just pursue purpose. That's all. Stop trying to bring body and soul together. That's your job. God will never outsource the role of your provider to anybody, not even you. When you didn't have a job, show me by show of hands somebody who at one point in the course of their life did not know where their next meal was coming from. Show me your hand. Show me. If you've never been in that situation, keep your hand down. But if you've been in a situation where you didn't know how to get the next amount of money, you had no job, show me your hand if you've ever been there. Are you not here? So who told you that you are here for a job? Who told you that if you leave your job, you will die? If your job is not fulfilling purpose, why don't you pursue purpose and work? Because work can only be found in your purpose. Your job can keep your body just over broke. But my big deal, and we're going to talk about all these things. So can you show me the Range Rover, please? The first Range Rover come. I'm not sure if anybody has seen this before, but if you live in Nigeria, especially if you're in Lagos, you probably will come across one of these cars from time to time. Anybody ever seen anything like this before? Seen it before, yeah? All right. Fantastic. So here I was coming from a client retreat one day, and on mile 12, I was driving myself. As you notice, I love to drive myself. And I saw this guy. I didn't pay any attention to it because they are common. They're all over Lagos. Until at one moment, I heard in my spirit, and from the beginning, it was not so. So I thought to myself, what was not so from the beginning? And for a moment, I literally traveled back in time and saw this car rolling out of the factory, and oh my God, was there so much excitement by the people who had worked on it. And they had worked on it. And listen, these cars, as so many of you know, were designed. These were the models around 1975, 74, 76. This was the model of Range Rover. This was the kind of car at that time that the Queen of England was using. So that this was the most prestigious car that you can imagine. Does anybody hear me? And I could only imagine as the car was rolling out, all the guys that worked on it must have been looking at the works of their hands and saying, wow, I wonder which Lord is going to drive into this. I wonder which conversations they're going to have into this. I wonder which kind of places that this car would go. You know, they had high hopes. They had such high hopes for this car. Guess what they did? They put the name of their brand on that car so that people would not just admire the car, admire the creators of the car. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Now, just so that I'm clear, please go back one step, please. One step, sir. Was this car designed to break down? Was it designed to ride on different terrains? Was it designed to ride in style? Was it designed for the high and mighty? Okay, so we know what it was created for. Was it designed as a tow truck? Is this car working? When you start the engine, does it start? When you put it in gear, does it move? When you press the brake, does it stop? Is this car working? Yes. I didn't want to divide the house. Is this car fulfilling purpose? Is it working? Does this car go out every day? Yes. Does it earn a living? Yes. Is it fulfilling purpose? No. And so you ask yourself, how could something designed to be so great come to the point where it associates itself with dead vehicles? Because this car is never attached to a car that can still help itself. Every car that is ever attached to this car, this great car, this great edifice of an equipment, I want to use big English, vehicular grandeur. For you to be connected with this car, you must be a dead car. Meaning a car that cannot move itself. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? So I started to ask myself, what's the problem? What can the problem be? And the next slide, I think, shows me exactly what the problem was. The first thing I noticed was apparently, the car seems to have lost its vision. And so, could that be the reason why the car no longer fulfills purpose? But the second thing that I was driven to was that I needed to look at the person in the car. And once I looked at the person, I understood exactly what was going on. Because you see, this car was being managed by somebody who Range Rover could never believe should have been able to even enter into the car. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. If Range Rover, in the time of creation of this car, had met this guy, they were shown a picture of this guy, that this guy will drive this car you are making, they would have stopped work. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. And the quality of the person that manages the creation will determine the results that the creation can produce. So, listen to this. Whilst the creator is the one responsible for the purpose, the creature is responsible for fulfilling it. I'm going to say that again. Whilst Range Rover was responsible to determine the purpose of this car, whether this car fulfills purpose or not is determined by the person that is driving the car. You are the one driving this vehicle. The question is, what are you doing with it right now? Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Because when you were created to succeed. But depending on the way you drive your vehicle, this body vehicle will determine whether you are like that Range Rover or you are like the one that was created from the beginning? So let's just wrap this up. I'll talk to you about 4 things that I hope will blow your mind. Because today we have been asked to come and speak about understanding and identifying purpose. Do we understand the issues around purpose so far? Okay? So the first thing that I would say to you is that purpose is the reason why something was created. Write that down if you need to. Purpose is the reason. You guys know that already. Purpose is the reason why something is created. Secondly, purpose is determined only by the Creator. I want you to write that down. The Creator cannot determine the reason why it was created. It can only cover why. But it is determined by the Creator. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? You are not the one who can determine your purpose. You are a creature. Only the Creator can determine the purpose. You can discover why the Creator created the creation, but you cannot determine what was in the mind of the Creator. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? All right. Now, this is the third thing I want you to write. Every purpose was created before the creation by the Creator. I'm going to say it again. Every purpose was created or determined before the creation of what it is that was created. So it is not when you were born that your purpose was now to be found. God did not create you and then start to think, what do I do with him now? Purpose pre-exists before the creation. Does that make sense? Because it is what is in the heart of the Creator before he begins to create it. Makes sense? Next thing, everything needed for purpose was given before the creation was created. Before the thing was created. So everything that a phone needs to make a call was put in the phone before it was put in the package and before it was sold. Does that make sense? It wasn't they made a phone, put a package, and then are saying, what do we do with it now? Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? So you can use your phone to play ping pong. You can use your phone to beat something into it. Whether the screen breaks and all of that is a different ballgame. But the purpose of the phone was determined before the phone was created. Everything the phone will need to make the call was put in before the phone was given to the caller. And remember, we said the phone was designed to succeed in making calls. So the phone is not supposed to be pursuing success. It's already in it. It should just be pursuing the reason why it was created, which is to make a call. Once it tries to make a call, everything inside it to make a call connects. Are we there? So now we are coming home to the big deal. So now, why am I here? How many people have ever wondered, why am I here? Sorry, anybody here? Every one of you already know exactly why you are here. Why you are on earth is clear to you. Everybody? Okay, maybe I'm not asking the right question. How many of you can boldly say, I know my purpose? Okay, then I'm in a good room. This is where I need to be. This is where I need to be. Because there is a process by which we must be able to discover what it is. What does any? So if I want to know the purpose for which the Creator created the creation, what do I do? What do I do? If I want to know why, what do I do? You must find out from who? From the Creator. Why? Abi? And if the Creator has not answered me, do I now begin to use the creation anyhow as I please? But you do it. Don't lie. How many of you have, tell the truth. How many of you here right now, tell the truth and let the devil be ashamed, have phones? Let me see your hand if you have a phone. No, honor me, please. Just, you have a phone. No, keep your hand up. How many of you that have phones that your hands are up read the manual before you started using the call? You didn't even use razor blade to tear the rubber. It was teeth. Just because you were so excited. How many of you know that your phone can do more things than you are currently using it for? But we don't know what else it can do. We are only seeing what we have learned either by experience or by exposure. So when you see somebody using a similar phone to do something, you say, hey, show me that. Abi? But we don't even know how much that guy knows about the phone. And yet, everything the phone can do is in the manual. The manual is at home. How many of you have ever... if you really meet a nasty customer service officer, you know those people that you call the customer center, then you now tell them what the problem is. And by the time they finish talking to you, you feel very stupid. Because she will say, please, can you pick up, do you have the manual with you? Say yes. Say, can you pick it up? Yes. Can you turn it to the back of the page? Can you see table of contents? Say yes. Index. It says, now can you see, you're asking about, and then they will say to you, can you see there, page 39? You say yes. She said, can you turn to page 39? Says, can you look at it? What does it say? It reads, oh, okay, I get it now. Has that ever happened to anybody? In other words, information was never hidden from you in the first case. But you didn't go to search for it. It is not God's desire that the purpose be hidden from the Creator. It is His desire for the Creator to fulfill the purpose. You know why? Because His name is on you. And every time you break down on the road, they don't abuse you, they abuse your Creator. How many has that ever happened before? You go past and you see one time, you say, oh, I saw one Honda on the road. You didn't call the plate number of the car. You didn't call the car by name. You called it by Creator. True or false? In fact, what happens is this. There comes a point in time, this happens with that if a few malfunctions happen consistently to a particular model of a car, the manufacturers will call back everyone, whether it's working or not working, come back home. Because there is something wrong with the way that this car is going, and if we are not careful, our brand will suffer damage. So let me help you understand it. Every time you fail, you are not the one that loses. Your Creator loses. So not only did your Creator equip you to succeed, your Creator loses when you fail. Am I still connecting here? Let's finish this. So let's look at it. The first thing we need to do when we want to know about purpose is ask. How do you ask? Who is your Creator? No, let me be clear. Some of you think it's your mother and your father. That the reason why you are here is because of the activity that took place between your mom and your dad. Tell the truth and let the devil be ashamed. How many of you think that? That if it had not been that your mom and dad came together, you would never be here. But we know one thing for sure. Sex cannot produce children. Why do we know that sex cannot produce children? If it was sex that produced children, we should have more than 7.3 billion people on the face of the earth. That's number one. The second reason is if you've ever seen a couple that are waiting for the fruit of the womb, it's not because they are not making love. Sex is not what produces children. We are also told when God was speaking to a guy called Jeremiah, God said, so that you don't get it twisted. It's not before you were formed. Because if I said before you were formed, we don't know who formed you. So I want you to be clear who formed you. He said, before I formed you in your mother's womb. So that you are clear who did the work. So who created you? Shout it loud. God. Are you sure? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. So how do you find out what you are created for? Ask who? God. But do you trust that he wants the best for you enough to ask him? Because I think that many times the reason why we don't ask is that we're not sure whether, if I go and ask God now, the next thing he can say to me, pack your load and go back to Nigeria. As though it were possible for God to want you to be less than what you can be. So if you don't know who created you, you can never be able to trust him enough to ask him what it is he created you for. Because he created you for maximum success. Maximum. Does this make sense? All right? Now, once you ask, you have to listen. This is the most difficult part. Because if you don't hear or have a connection with the Creator, it is impossible for you to hear from him, even though it is possible for you to talk to him. Does everybody understand that? You must be able to hear from him. And hearing from the Creator is, I found out, the greatest challenge that we find in those who claim to have a relationship with the Creator. Let me ask a question, and please, please, please be honest with me. How many of you feel like you need help to hear clearly, with clarity, from God? It happens everywhere, guys. You're not the only one. And I've struggled, and sometimes I still struggle to hear. But it's the most important thing that you need to invest your time in. Because there's no way to know if you don't hear, and there's no way to do if you don't know. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Are you sure you got it? So now once you ask and you hear, the next thing is you have to be able to do 4 things. Number 1, you must be able to accept responsibility for what it is that he's asked you to do. Once a phone knows that my job is to call and trusts that everything I need to make the call is inside me, all I need to do is now just try. Just try. Secondly, you must believe that you have everything you need to succeed. You must believe it. And you must believe that what you are carrying is the power of the Creator, not the power of the creation. So you are not limited in your ability. You must believe this. If you don't believe this, you will never have the conviction to try. You will be scared to fulfill purpose. You must believe. But then the third thing is you must commit. And to commit means to direct your energy and your focus in the pursuit of what it is that you were created to do. Many times, listen to this please. What you need is waiting for something you already have to be exchanged. So let me say it in another way. You don't need what you don't have to get what you want. He says start a business, you don't have money, that is not what you need at this time. So what do you need? What do you have? If I have the ability to research, then research is what I need to do, and I have what it takes to do that research. The moment I do the research about the market and find out how profitable it is, the next thing is I'm going to tell someone, whether I intend to tell them or not, because out of the abundance of my heart, now my mouth speaks. Somebody is going to say, wow, you mean there's money in that thing? Bobo, take. Investors pursue proven ideas. Write it down. Investors pursue proven ideas. Your job is not to pursue an investor. Your job is to prove the idea and attract investors. I want you to write this down again. Your job is not to pursue money. Money is not pursued. Money is attracted. If I say pro-democracy, what does it mean? What does it mean? Can anybody tell me? Pro-democracy means in support of, right? If I say pro-life, it means what? In support of life. If I say pro-vision, what does it mean? So which one comes first? Provision or vision? Sorry, I can't hear you. You guys are not talking to me. I'm not sure. Which one comes first? Vision or provision? Because there's no vision, there's nothing to support, isn't it? So listen to this. Investors are provision carriers. They're not providers. The provider is the one who gave the vision. The investor is carrying the provision, waiting for the vision to support. Does that make sense? So you don't need money to start a business. Did you hear me? You don't need money. Say it with me. If I don't have it, I don't need it. Say it again. Meaning, are you here with me? You will never be limited by something you don't have. Break this mind in your heart that there's something you are waiting for. Everything you are waiting for is waiting for you. Everything. So you are only asking yourself, what should I do? What should I do with what I have? What should I do with where I am? The place where I am today is the best place to take the next step. The next step I can take is the best step to take to get to where I'm going. I asked somebody one day, he said, what's your dream? She said, look, I want to get an MBA. I said, which school? She said, any school. I said, please write an application to any school. Said, what's the problem? Says, I don't have money. To write an application to any school? I said, how much do you need? Said, about 12,000 pounds. Said, 12,000 pounds to write an application? She said, no. I said, but you said that you need to you need to go to any school. Say yes. How much do you need? Said 12,000 pounds. For what? To go to school. Is that what you need to do now? No. What do you need to do now? Apply. How much do you need to apply? But the other problem is you now need to apply to where? Have you seen anyschool.com before? So what do I need to do? I need to identify the school. How much do I need to identify the school? So what is stopping me? No, the illusion that I need 12,000 pounds. That thing, that 12,000 pounds, has anybody here ever built a house before? Let me see your hand. If you've ever built, how many of you know people that have built houses before? Built houses. Do you know that nobody that builds a house has the money to build the house by the time they start building? They only have money to call an estate agent to say, look for land for me. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? So say it with me again. If I don't have it, I don't need it. Nothing is stopping me right now. Are you sure? That's something you should be excited about. Some of these things you are going to need to listen to more than once. You know why I say so? Because as simple as they sound, you ask yourself, come to think of it, what he's saying is true. Yet why am I not doing what I want to do? It's not that what he's saying is not true. It's not that what he's saying doesn't seem simple. The question is why? It's because I forget. Let's close. The last thing you need to do is you need to be determined to follow through until you deliver. Now, what is the greatest challenge that faces people who are in search of purpose? The greatest challenge that is facing you in search for purpose is something called existence. In other words, I need to exist to fulfill purpose. True or false? I need to be alive to fulfill purpose. True or false? Who is the great stakeholder in your purpose? Is it you, the created one, or the creator of the created one? So who is responsible for keeping you alive to fulfill purpose? So why are you worried about what is not on your job description? Your job description is not to exist. Your job description is not to eat, is not to clothe, is not to shelter. He said, listen, take no thoughts about these things. And he tells you why he doesn't want you to care about what you will eat, what you will drink, what you will wear, how to travel, all of those things. The children, can I quickly ask you a question? Does God have any grandchildren? All right. Somebody even said it. Yes, now. What are you talking about? For instance, your child is not the child of God. Because you are a child of God. Your own child is a grandchild of God. But sorry. You are not the first child of God. Your mother was the child of God. So you are not really a child of God. You are a grandchild of the child of God, which that means that your child is the great grandchild of God. Is that right? Is that right? Is your child a child of God? Are you a child of God? If your parents are saved, are they children of God? So does God have any grandchildren? So the person you are calling your child is your brother. You just were the one that gave that person a ride from heaven to this place. That's all. The same way you can give me a ride from your house to church or to anywhere, and the fact that you gave me a ride here does not mean you own me. That person you call your child is not your child. It's your sibling. We all have the same father. So the fastest way to get school fees is not to look for school fees. Is to ask the father of the child for the school fees for that child. But show yourself as faithful to receive it and deliver for his child what you said you would do with it. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? Your wife is not really your wife. She's your sister. Because she also is a child. True or false? Good. So the fastest way to provide for your wife is to understand that you are not the provider. But you are a faithful servant to the provider. So you go to the provider and receive from the provider and release to the one to whom he wants to provide. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Are you sure you get it? So your language changes in prayer. Your language is to affirm not a need, for he already knows the need, but affirm your willingness to be faithful. That's all. It will be great to do this for your own. Some of you may have heard a story that Daddy Gio once told about when one of his sons was sick. Anybody ever heard that story? And he was praying, God, heal my child, heal my child, heal my child, heal my child. He's told that story a lot of times. Anybody ever heard that story? And did the child get well? He said then he went at one point in time and asked, what is the problem? I'm praying for other people and you are healing them, but my own child, you are not healing. And he said, can anybody remember? He said, God said, I don't know who you are talking about. He said, is it my child or your child? He said, no, Lord, it is your child. He said, yeah. Then you are saying, pray for my child. I don't know. You don't have any children. I have children. Then God said to him also, he said, now that is clear, he said, God, heal your child. That day, the child was healed. The problem is that you are trying to usurp God's responsibility and claim his property. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? Are you sure you get it? Sorry, is everybody still connected here? So, I'm going to wrap this up. I believe that it's already 2 minutes. Let's do something now. Are you ready for this? Because we're going into Q&A now. And I want to get really practical. One, I want you to remember what we've done today. The first most important thing that we did was understand that everything that was created, that exists, was created. Anybody remember that? Say with me again. Everything that exists, was created. Say everything that was created was created by a creator. Then say with me, everything that was created by a creator was created for a reason. Right? And then you will say with me, every creator gives its creation everything the creation needs to fulfill the reason why the creator created the creation. Do you understand that? Which means that everything was designed to succeed and everything was equipped to succeed. All you need to do is now find out, what was I created for? In 2 minutes, I'll show you a link between your vision or your purpose, your mission, your vision, and your values. So let's understand this. Remember that when you were going to school, you were put in kindergarten 1, yes or no? With the purpose of getting an education, yes or no? When you got to kindergarten 2, did your purpose change? Was it still to get an education? When you got to primary 1, did your purpose change? Was it still to get an education? What about when you got to secondary school? Did your purpose change? What about when you got to uni? Did your purpose change? Okay, if you went to... Now, the point I'm making is that your purpose for going to school was the same throughout the different classes and classrooms that you were in. Do you understand that? When did the decision to get an education happen? Was it when you got into school or before you were sent to school? Good. So the purpose for going to school was not something you will determine when you get to school. What should this guy do when he gets to school? You determine it and then you send the child to school. Does that make sense? Now listen to this. Everything you need to fulfill purpose, which especially includes eyes to see, brains to think, mouth to ask questions, hands to write, ears to hear, were they given to you in school or before you went to school? So you realize that everything you will need to fulfill purpose was given to you before purpose was, right? Before you were sent on the assignment. Are you there? Now, your assignment in primary 1, is it the same thing as your assignment in primary 2? So now you realize, even though purpose is always the same, assignment may change. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? Are you sure you just got it now? So, your assignment in primary 1 and your assignment in primary 2 And your assignment in primary 3 and going all through school changes with time and place. Yeah? You cannot say because I fulfilled purpose last year in primary 2, I'm going to remain in primary 2 this year because I still want to fulfill purpose. No. Your assignment changes even though your purpose is the same. Do you get that? Now, when do you get the pencil to write? Is it before you go to school or when you get to class? When do you get math sets? No, what I mean is, do they give you math sets in kindergarten 1? So when I get to the level where I need to do construction, what happens? So what you need for the assignment is given to you at the time and place of the assignment. What you need for purpose is given to you before you ever started. So what you needed for purpose are 3 things. Number 1, you needed talent. Somebody say with me, talent. Your talent was the power of God given to you to be able to do the things you were created to do with ease and excellence. What does somebody think my own purpose is? What do you think? What do you think my talent is? To teach. It's not to talk. Because if you see me talking, I can rap nonsense. But I must be able to teach and explain complex things in easy ways. Right? Now, I was given that talent before I ever showed up. When I was a little child, I would be talking and children would sit down until the bell rings and then they will say, Durotoye, look, you, all of you are still here. All your mates have gone back to class. You are here listening to Durotoye. In fact, Durotoye, you wait. Oro. This was what used to happen to me. Because I was using my talent, but I didn't yet know what the purpose was. The second thing that you notice that every one of us has is something called personality. So whilst our purpose, our talent is to help us achieve our assignment and our purpose with excellence, our personality is designed to help us feel comfortable in the place of our assignment. So if you are sent to construction, you are probably not going to like a tie. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Because how many of you have ever heard this thing before? That we must leave your comfort zone. Have you heard it before? It is the wrongest lie from the devil. You are not supposed to leave your comfort zone. You are supposed to find your comfort zone and then excel there. What is the comfort zone of a fish? Can somebody imagine telling a fish, get out of water? What is the comfort zone of a bird? Can you imagine telling the bird, leave the air? You should not leave your comfort zone. You should find your comfort zone and then excel in that place. The third most important thing is passion. Somebody please say with me, passion. No, sorry. I want you to say passion as if you have a real passion for it. Come on. Passion. Did I ask you to shout? So why did you shout? I'm sorry? So by being passionate, you are releasing energies that you kept before when you were not passionate. Does anybody think I have a passion for seeing people actualize their purpose? How do you know? You are meeting me for the first time. How do you know? How do you know I am passionate? It's all over me. You can see it. So passion is visible. Can you hear it in my voice? Is it because I'm shouting? So you can hear passion. Passion is audible. Can you feel my passion? Can you feel it? So passion is impactful. Do you know that not only is passion impactful, passion is infectious? That people can become passionate about what you're passionate about. Do you know that? So passion is visible, passion is audible, passion is impactful, passion is infectious. But do you know something that is as powerful as passion? As visible, as audible, as impactful, as infectious as passion? Do you know what it is? Can I tell you? The lack of passion. If you don't have passion for what you are doing, everybody can see it. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Everybody can see it. They can hear it. And listen to me. You cannot find passion Because it was given to you before you came. You either have it or you don't have it. Now, your passion is not a gift to you. It is a gift to your assignment. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So if I go somewhere and I start to speak about some other topic, and you begin to ask me to teach on thermodynamics, even though I go and read about thermodynamics, you cannot hear any passion in my voice. Because my passion was not given for thermodynamics. But there's somebody else whose passion is for thermodynamics. When that person speaks about purpose, you would not understand. But when the person speaks about thermodynamics or nuclear engineering or whatever it is, it will now make sense to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your talents were given for your assignment. Your personality was given for your assignment. And your passion was given for your assignment. But they were given before you showed up. Your point, what you need to do now is to find out what was those things given for. And then I find those things and everything is released. So I'll give you my own. I was conceived in Canada, deceived in heaven, and received in Durotoye, Ibadan. You may ask, why did I say deceived in heaven? Because I was doing my work, JJ, just when an angel called me, said, there's an assignment. I say, what's up? Said, there's a couple in University of Toronto. I said, Toronto? He said, yes. Canada? I said, yes. I said, let's go. He said, no, let me tell you first. I said, don't worry. I said, let's go. Is it not Toronto, Canada? He said, there is, what are they doing there? I said, they're lecturers. I said, look, let's go. So here I was, jumped on the journey to come just because I was going to Canada. And I landed safely in Canada. I was beginning to enjoy everything that I was enjoying until 7 months into my mother's pregnancy, my father had a dream, woke my mother up and said, this one is a boy and we have to take him home. Now my parents had a boy and a girl, and at that time they were not checking, they were not doing scan. So you see, I have 3 boys, right? I don't have any girls inside me. For real. My wife said, should we try for a girl? I told her, once is an occurrence, twice is a coincidence, thrice is a pattern. By now we should know. If I had, I would have given you. I don't have. But my father had a boy and a girl, so he was not supposed to know whether this next one was a boy or a girl. You understand? Cut the long story short, my mother, at risk to herself and to me, the child, got on the journey, and so I was deceived in heaven. I was received in Toronto, Canada. I was conceived in Toronto, Canada, and I was received in Durotoye, Ibadan. And I kept on trying to find out from my parents, in a way, why did they do such a hazardous thing to my... Because I'm about the only Adetokunbo that you know that has only one passport and is a Nigerian passport. And when I was going through up school, they used to actually call me, many of my teachers, because they would look at my name as it was written and they'd say, oh, Tokes. So every time they call me Tokes, it is like a cane. Which Tokes that I cannot travel? I asked my mother, please, do you have any antenatal record? Antenatal. They said they can't use antenatal to give passport. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So here it is, I was going through pain. I didn't know why I was created. Until one day, a gentleman called me early in the morning, said to me, FD, please, I need to see you today. And he had called me around 3 a.m. I thought, what can the problem be? And I was a management consultant doing my work. And then all of a sudden, this guy calls me. I say, okay, come. He gets to me and then he starts to fumble. How is Auntie Tara? How is this? And I thought to myself, this guy's wasting my time. As I wanted to cast the guy out of my office like a demon, I heard God say to me, I was the one who sent him. And so I said, okay, hey, calm down. You came here for a reason. Tell me, why did you come? God told me that he told you to tell me. He said, well, I was sleeping and God woke me up. And said, go and tell my son, Fela, that it doesn't matter how much money he makes. When he gets home, I'm only going to ask him one question. How is Nigeria? How is Nigeria? This was in the year 2003. How is Nigeria? What is my own with Nigeria? I'm a Canadian that was misborn. But you have to understand that I was never meant to be born in Canada. I was meant for Nigeria. Everything that was given to me, my talent, my giftings, my passion, was for the purpose for which I was sent. And the purpose that I was sent was for a nation. 2 years later, one day God said to me, showed me Nigerian national anthem in the place of prayer, and said to me, if every line of the second stanza came to pass, what would happen? And I thought, wow, it would be an amazing nation. And God said to me, write this down. Nigeria will be undoubtedly the most desirable nation to live in. Now look, whether you want to believe it or you don't want to believe it, tell me one nation you know that is more blessed than Nigeria. One, just tell me, any. It doesn't exist. Last year we just found platinum in Suleja. The platinum that was found in Suleja was tested in November last year in the best laboratories. They said it is higher than the quality of the South African platinum, which is the highest platinum in the world. So now, Nigeria has, apart from all the other mineral resources, it has the highest grade of platinum in the world. When did the platinum get there? Is it last year? So I asked God, what would you have me do? He said, go and build me the people that will build the nation. Build the people that will build. I said, how do I do that? He said, it's as simple as ABCD. Get them to accept responsibility, get them to believe, get them to commit their time, their energy, their resources, and get them to do everything they need to do to deliver the future of Nigeria. A few years later, 2005, God said to me, raise me a generation that is empowered, motivated, and stirred to operate with natural excellence. That generation of leaders will build a new Nigeria. So now I have the vision of Nigeria to be the most desirable nation to live in. I have an assignment to build the people. And now I have a mission to raise a generation. Now, to build the people, how do I then do that? I was in Dubai one day, 2011. God spoke to me. I was on vacation. And he said, it is now time to lead the people in building the nation. And he said to me, teach them how to live a lifestyle of leadership and excellence for accelerated development in their personal and professional lives. So now I'm saying, okay, how do I do that? He said, create a platform where the people will learn excellence and values that will help them. So now, listen to this. If you go and look at everything that I've been told, you will begin to see how weaving assignment upon assignment, line upon line, precept upon precept, everything about building people, getting them to believe. The whole campaign, everybody will remember, if anybody listened, Fela kept on saying, it's not about me. It's not about me. Is it true? It's not about me. Whether you vote for me or not, it is about you. Get involved. Build the nation that you want to live in and give to your children. I kept on telling, but people don't hear that in politics, right? Because it's not, I'm not a politician, I'm a nation builder. Do you understand? That's who I am. That's what I'm created for. But the people must hear the message of nation building, but it is a language they don't understand yet. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? There are some people that built where we are today. Abi? Was this place like this 50 years ago? The next 50 years, the Nigeria that you will have, people from all over the world will be running there. When some people accept responsibility for it. Now, I have told you my vision to see Nigeria become the most desirable nation. I've told you my mission to raise a generation that is empowered. I've told you my assignment to teach the people how to live a lifestyle of leadership and excellence. I now want you to understand that this thing is called alignment, where every day I get up to do something that furthers the course of my mission so that my vision can come to pass. Did you hear what I just said? Are you sure you got it? Every day, you must bring everything you do into alignment so that whatever you are doing with your time is helping you step by step to do what you have to do to achieve the reason why you are here. Because in the end, at the end of your life, it is the reason why you came that will be asked after. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Are you sure you got it? Are you more confused or less confused? Does it make sense to you now? Do you understand that you have a purpose? Do you understand that you are equipped for your purpose? Do you understand all you need to do is to find out what it is now? So how many people know that if you don't know the Creator, you can't ask Him? Does everybody here know the Creator? Does everybody here know your Creator? Do you all know your Creator? Does anybody want to know your Creator? Let me ask another question. Does your Creator know you? Does your Creator know you? I conclude this with a very simple understanding. So God said to Jeremiah, before I formed you, what happened? I knew you. Isn't that right? And He said, I knew you for a reason. I knew you and I sanctified you, means I separated you to be a prophet, and I ordained you. In other words, I equipped you with everything you need to do it. Does that make sense? Now we are told that we are the workmanship of Christ, created for good works from the foundations of the earth. Isn't it? Before we were formed, we were created for good works. Does someone say with me, I was created for good works? God knew me before He formed me, and He created me for good works. Do you understand that? So now you've heard the story before, maybe, that there was the sheep and the goats. Can anybody remember that? And Christ was telling a story about how He said to the goats, depart from me, you workers of iniquity, for I do not know you. Can you remember that? What did the goats tell Him? Lord, in your name, we did this. We cast out demons. We did all of these things. He said, get away from me, you workers of iniquity. So listen to me. How can casting out demons be considered a work of iniquity? Because that person was not created to cast out demons. There are some people who from the foundations of the earth were created to cast out demons. Not everybody, I know this might sound tricky, not everybody was created for that purpose. Any purpose different from what you are created for is a work of iniquity. And every time you are doing a work of iniquity, even if it is casting out demons, He says, I don't know you, because that's not what I created you for. The people who I created to cast out demons, I know them, for they are fulfilling the works of righteousness. If they go into banking, I don't know them. Banking for the one created to cast out demons is not. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Not everyone working in a bank is a banker. Do you understand where I'm coming from? If you are created to work in a bank, you are a banker even if you don't have a job yet. Do you understand? Are you sure you get it? So each one of us must of necessity find out, what am I meant to do? Doing anything different, two things, is a work of iniquity and God will not know you. So the reason why I asked you, do you know God? Is that, do you have some kind of at least confirmed relationship with Him? The second reason is, does God know you? Meaning, are you doing what He created you to do? So if you know God and God knows you, can all of us stand, please? If you know God, and I mean by God, me, I'm still talking about Christ. If you know God, and God knows you, meaning you are doing what you are created to do, sit down. If you know God, and God knows you, meaning you are right now, you are sure you are working on the thing He created you for. You are sure. Then sit down. If you know God, and you are sure that what you are doing is exactly what He created you for, sit down. Don't look at anybody else. It's a question to you. It's a question to you. It's not a question about anybody else. Nobody else is going to be there to answer for you when you get back to where you're going. All right. So now, guys, remember what the process is. We must ask. Abi? We must listen. Isn't it? And whatever He tells us, we must accept. Because it is in our best interest. Then B, we must believe. We must believe that we have everything that we need to fulfill the purpose for which we were sent. And there is no small purpose. It doesn't exist. God cannot do a small purpose because He's not a small God. Everything creates according to His own kind. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Therefore, every one of us was created not just for success, but for greatness. The third thing is we're going to be willing to commit. And that commitment is what you're going to make now. Where you're going to tell God, I commit that I will seek you, and I will find what it is you want me to do, and I will work every day of my life trying to deliver it. And then the last thing is you must be determined. So when you look in the account and you cannot see the kind of dirhams that you want there, it's not the time for you to turn your back on your purpose and say, well, I beg, this purpose matter. Now purpose I go chop. What you will eat, the one who created you will provide it. You don't work to eat. You eat to work. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. The food that man was going to eat was given to him in Genesis 1 and verse 29. The work was given to him in Genesis 2 and 15. So food was meant to strengthen you for work. It's not from work that you are going to get food. When you didn't have a job, you ate. If you didn't eat, you won't be here. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So let's ask. Let's ask. Whoever you sense your Creator to be, okay, now ask Him. If you believe He's up there, look up there. If you believe He's down there, look down there. If you believe He's in you, look in you. Wherever you believe He is, I want you to ask Him. Because any other way is a waste of time. And I'm out of time. But if you're looking at me now, then you are wasting time. Because I'm not the one that created you. So you can't look to me when you're supposed to be asking, except you think that I don't know where your Creator is. Now ask Him for the capacity to accept what He will tell you that your assignment is. Because your purpose is not as important as your assignment. Your assignment, what you are meant to be doing now, what I'm meant to be doing here. Your assignment is tied to a time and place. So you've got to be able to know, what am I meant to be doing now? What am I meant to do now? If you fulfill your assignment, you will fulfill your purpose. If you pass your assignment in primary 1, you would have gotten an education. If you pass your assignment in primary 2, you get an education. In primary 3, you get an education. Your purpose does not change, but your assignment is time and location specific. And ask him for the heart to receive and the ears to hear. Ask him for a clean heart that is not corrupted by the culture and the pressures of this earth. A heart that can receive the seed of his word, his assignment. Lastly, just say to him, Lord, my heart is willing, my hands are ready. Lord, my heart is willing, my hands are ready to do your will. To do your will. Teach me your will, and I will do it. I commit to doing it. And just from the way you are praying, I presume you're praying in the name of Jesus. So I would say in the name of Jesus, and you would say, Amen. All right. If you're sure, now listen to this. There are two types of people. And Thomas said, until I see, I will not believe. So there are some people who must see it to believe it. And Jesus said to Thomas, look, because you gave a condition to your believing, and that is what is most important to me, that you believe, I will keep the hole in my hand and the pierce in my body. Even though I can walk through a wall. So if my body is supernatural enough to walk through a wall, then it shouldn't be an issue for me to heal my hand. Does anybody understand? But because of you, Thomas, you said you must see the hole, so I have to keep the hole here, just so you believe. And so Thomas is grateful and says, thank you, Lord. Now I believe. And ideally, Jesus should have just walked away and said, great guy. He said, well, I'm happy you believe because you have seen it. But I want you to know that the greatest state of blessing is those who have not yet seen it, but then they believe it. In other words, they believe it in their spirit before their senses get it. So if you know that from today there is clarity concerning your purpose, even though you have not yet heard it in your ears, even though you cannot yet write it with your hands, but your heart believes it, you will behave with your body as if you have already received it. Do you understand? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to give the kind of joy, shout, high five, dance, whatever you want to do, as if you already know that you got your purpose sorted out and that you're already fulfilling your assignment with greatness and success. Come on, somebody do that. The more he hears you, the faster he releases it.
Amen.
There we go. Thank you very much. Thanks. Listen, we're very pressed for time, but we're going to do this. We're going to give room for 2 questions. But then hear me out. There are mics that are positioned perfectly and accordingly all over this space. Room for 2 questions only. Fela Durotoye has been incredibly gracious to us, saying that if you want to see him for a one-on-one counseling, tomorrow he has blocked out a portion of his day between the hours of 1 and 7, give or take, to see people. If you want to see him for a very specific need, again, of course, he cannot see everybody, but if you want to see him for a specific need and you need some guidance and some counseling around that, he's around this weekend and he has graciously offered to do that. So you can talk more in depth in that session. Just see Sister Tony, who is that very pretty lady there with the purple hat. She'll write your name down. It's going to be a very finite list. Let us apologize in advance on behalf of the entire Success Seminar Planning Committee that we will not be able to accommodate everybody. But, FD is a man that is easy to find. He's a nation builder and he's very, very humble. And as you can tell, this is what he does for a living. This is his purpose, pouring himself out into people. So find him through one of the many social media handles, and I'm sure at some point, God can help both of you connect as the case may be. So if you want to see him for a particular reason and purpose, see Sister Tony back there. We'll get the list, probably 5, 6 people at the most, give or take. Or if you want groups of friends, 2, 3 of you who want to tag team together and see him at the same time, we can arrange that as well. But it will not be more than sort of 6 hours because the man also ultimately has to rest. But for now, the fierce urgency of now. 2 questions. Whoever raises their hands up first. Yes, you, number 1. And number 2, a man and a lady. Perfect. Sir, question. Over there, the mic.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Sahari.
Harry.
A-G-H-O.
Okay, I'll go. Yes.
Sahari is my
Okay.
surname. I'm here in Dubai on vacation.
Okay.
I came in about 6 days ago. I got to find out about this program on Instagram. I sent you a message and you responded. I want to sincerely appreciate you for this opportunity. For the past 6 days, I have been plotting the length and breadth of Dubai. If I have achieved nothing, I've achieved something here today. Because giving me an opportunity to meet you, I've been following you for a while now. During your campaign, I did not only follow you, I campaigned for you because I knew who you were. My spirit tells me every now and again that this is a man set to raise a new generation for Nigeria. Sincerely speaking, I want to appreciate you. I've learned so much today. You've set a new beginning for me. It's very challenging. You do not stop at what you're doing. I can imagine how you met this with your family. Sincerely speaking, I really want to appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And then the lady
Is there anybody on that side also?
who has a question.
Okay.
Yes,
Where's
the lady, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I just want to ask, just a very brief one. I want to talk about my personality, and because sometimes I get to fear about the fact that, okay, not everybody, but most people work. And I, for myself, since I started, like maybe when I finished from university, I realized I'm the kind of person that likes to do so many things. I'm a very handy person. And so when I was working in Nigeria, I decided to relocate. And before coming, I tried to do so many things, like learn how to make hair, learn how to do makeup and all that. So when I got here, it took me about 6 months to get a job. I started working, but while I was working, I was doing my business also by the side. So sometimes I close late, I still go to the market and all that. And then I was laid off, like they didn't confirm my job and everything. So my visa was canceled, I was going through a lot. But then, in fact, the day that they canceled my visa, I got like different orders to buy stuff and send to Nigeria. And I just looked at myself, I said, you know what, even when you don't work, as long as you are very hardworking, things will fall through for you. And then there was one class I went for, a leadership class with Dr. Sam Adeyemi.
Yeah.
And then during that class, they said something that the more value you add to people, the more you have wealth, the more you'll be wealthy, and that you will never lack. So I kept telling myself that if I can do these things, then I'm sure that I'll be fine. So I started to do my business, like I went through so many things and all that. So as I am now, I do makeup. Like today, I went to do a makeup job somewhere this morning. And then over the weekend or throughout the week, I cooked for some people and they paid me. And
She's advertising you. You are still saying story. By the time, listen, you are saying story. Before she leaves here, is there somebody who would like to have her makeup done? Let me see your hand, please. You? Anybody else? Anybody else? I want customer for you. Please, stand, please. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. No, do you see? So you make sure you see her and her, exchange your numbers. Is there anybody that likes to eat good food? Good soup? You like good soup? See, it's not every soup your wife is meant to cook. Stop harassing your wife. Find the people that can do the cook. That is their own gift. If your wife does not have the gift, you cannot force her. It's God that gives the gift. Instead, use the money that God has blessed you with to buy the soup that you want. The one she can cook, she will cook excellently well. The one she can't cook, you buy. That's how you have peace in your house. Now, if you want to have peace in your house, therefore, this is the person you see. So you are going to quickly announce, all cameras off. You are going to announce, please, anybody that wants soup, now or later for party, bring out your phone. I'm not joking. Bring out your phone now. It is better for you to have the number and not use it than for you to say, yay, where's that lady? And then you don't have the number. It's Pata Sheri's phone. You can delete it. Bring out your phone now. I'm not joking. Bring out your phone now. Are you ready? Wait, are you ready? Okay. Listen, don't worry. Anybody that does not bring out their phone, they won't have paid for your soup anyway. So don't worry about them. Are you ready? All right. Go on. Put the business number that you want. If anybody, any order, how can they order from you?
You just send me a message or give me a call.
On DM. Okay, what is your handle?
Oh, no. My handle is for my makeup. The cooking one is by the side. So
What is it? What is it?
05. My phone number. 05.
05
85.
05
28.
66. 66. Now, you see, the problem is you are calling your number too fast. It's as if you don't want them to have it. You have to call your number with the intention that they will save it. Let me say something that I want many of you to remember. Listen, are you ready? Hear this. Shh. Your name is the address for a solution to a problem. The day the problem shows up and your name cannot be remembered, then you are a waste of time. You are supposed to be the address for a solution. That people know your name but don't know what you solve, the problem you solve. Your name is a code. It's like saying XXY 331. What does that mean? Error. Your name is an error. And you know sometimes it happens, you put it in Google, you type your name in Google, Google will ask, do you mean? Because the name is not attached to any solution. Tell us your name and your number slowly with the intention of us remembering.
Okay, my name is Funke Owolabi.
Funke Owolabi. Your number is
05
85
05
05
28
66. She does makeup, and you can see how beautiful she's done her own. She cooks. I don't know how well she cooks, but my spirit tells me that she cooks well. It is up to you to test it and confirm to me. You understand? How many of you have a feeling that this was a divine moment for her? How many of you know? Do you know that in the next 1 year, she's going to be talking about this day? Because there's someone here in this room who has been looking for a solution and will cause her, you will be the bridge to move her to the next level. In the next 1 year, I believe you will be cooking for kings. And doing the makeup for queens. And they will trust you. They will trust you with their image and they will trust you with their sustenance. You will be wealthy. Greatly wealthy. Because you will have found and fulfilled purpose. Because you came in search of it. This is my belief. Watch this lady. Mark my words. If it is not so, I will not come back next year. You will see. Let's do one more question if we can. Because we had an appreciation. Thank you, sir. I will. Thank you so much.
Good evening, sir. I want to ask this question. Can there ever be a big time to discover one's purpose? Maybe
Okay.
at certain age or certain...
I do not believe that, because purpose is eternal, right? It was before you were created, and one of the gifts that God gave you for purpose is called time. So the time that was given to you was given to you to fulfill purpose. Do you understand? Are you sure? So as long as you are breathing for a reason. That reason is your purpose. If your time is up and you have stopped breathing, then maybe either you have fulfilled your purpose or God has said, in fact, don't worry, his children will fulfill it. Right? So the answer to your question is no. It's never too late. Practical examples. How many people know KFC? Do you know how old the gentleman was when he started? How old was he? 67. Okay? He was 65, I think, 65 or 67. All right? When he started the business KFC. Mary Kay started her beauty company after she retired. So she was in retirement when she started her beauty company. Right? It is never too late. But can I also add, it is never too early to find purpose. So when is the best time to discover your purpose? But don't forget, if you cannot discover purpose, don't worry. Discover your assignment. Your assignment is what I'm supposed to be doing here and now. If I do what I'm supposed to be doing here and now, I will fulfill purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even if I don't know that I'm in school to get an education, I don't know that that's why I'm in school. But I know 2 plus 2, and I can learn that one. I can learn my grammar, I can learn my construction, I can learn science. By the time I've learned my assignment, I would have fulfilled my purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes the pursuit of purpose can be so vague that people are worried about it. I say, don't worry about your purpose. Worry about your assignment. Once you fulfill your assignment, your purpose will be all right. Okay? Is that all right? All right. Lastly, I've got four materials that I would recommend to you. All of them deal with this issue about purpose assignment from different angles. I taught them at different times. The first one is something called attaining fulfillment. Fulfillment is only something that is given to those who are on purpose. Nobody else. Attaining fulfillment. Please write it down if you can. The second one is called defective success. Defective success. In that particular one, I tell the story of a guy who was sent to buy toothpaste, but he didn't hear his boss well, so he brought back toothpick. Even though it was a fable, but it tells the story of most human beings. In other words, it's possible for you to climb your career ladder to the top, only for you to realize the ladder is leaning on the wrong wall. I had a friend who scored an A in campus. He scored an A for a course he did register for. Because he was not around. He was in the UK when we were registering. So he asked one of us, his friends, to register for him. By the time we had got to the place where he was supposed to register, the class was full. So that his own best friend registered another course as an, what do they call those things? Elective. Registered another course as an elective for his course units to be complete. And then he submitted it. But all of us were part of this first course. Do you understand? His friend forgot to tell him that it was an elective I registered for you, not this one. So all of us were going for the same class. This guy got this one is not story. This is true story. This guy got the highest of all of us. He had an A, only for him to realize that he did not sign for the course. And the elective, he failed it. because he did not write the exam for it. Do you understand? So the guy had an extra year. Second semester, extra year. That is called defective success. Scoring an A in something you are not registered for. I teach about it. You need to see it. You need to read it. The third one is something that I call cycle of life. Circle of life. It speaks about the power and the mystery of the earth, and this thing called the mystery of life, and how to go from the mystery of life to the mastery of life, which is really what we are all meant to do. Because we came into this world having not been here before. There is no Babatunde that came again. Forget that rubbish. We are all told that it is for man to come once and to die, and therefore judgment after that. So there's no Babatunde, there's no Yeyetunde anywhere. There's nothing, Yabo, all of this rubbish. So forget that nonsense, right? You are here for the first time. You don't know how this system works. Your job is to learn how this system works so you can work the system to produce what you need. That is called the mastery of life. So when you come into this world, you have mystery. By the time you are meant to leave this world, you should have mastery. My job is to teach you how to go from mystery to mastery. That's what is in cycle of life. Do you understand? I think there's another one, I've forgotten the name of it. But bottom line is, if you want to get this message, and I suggest you do, there are two ways to go about it. The first way is go to www.feladurotoye.net/sign-up. www.feladurotoye.net/sign-up. And for the equivalent of something like $10 dirhams, you'll be able to get these messages that can totally change your life. /store, please forgive me. /store. www.feladurotoye.net/store. STORE. www.feladurotoye.net/store. And when you go in there, you will be able to see the list of messages, and you will download especially Attaining Fulfillment, Defective Success, Circle of Life, right? There's one last one but you see, but I don't know what arrangement has also been made in terms of materials, because I know we were trying to make sure that even if you wanted it, you could get it right here, but I'm not sure what the arrangement is. Maybe Dami will be able to say. But is there somebody who feels like you've gotten some clarity today? At least do you understand the issues of purpose? Do you know how to go about finding it? You know where to go. You know what to do. I believe very strongly that by this time next year, some of you will be doing such amazing things that when I'm hearing about them, and some of you would say, this time last year, I got on the path of greatness. And this was it. Everything just began to work for me. Because that's what happens when you fulfill purpose. God works all things together for your good. It's not you working things together now. Everything begins to work together for your good. All right? So, I believe that's the website. All right? See? That's me fulfilling purpose. My website is fulfilling purpose. My website is fulfilling. I don't know whether you understand. This is the alignment I was talking to you about. Everything must speak to why you are here. I'm on a world tour. I'm leaving Dubai, going to Canada, leaving Canada, going to Kigali. And as I'm going to each one of those places, I know that the majority of the people that are coming to me are mostly Nigerians. Guess what? Those are my primary constituency. And each one of them, I must teach them how to accept responsibility, believe, commit, and deliver. Because once they become great, Nigeria will become great. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your greatness is important to me. You are the reason why I'm alive.
All right. Wow. Guys, please put your hands together. We can do better. If you don't mind, let us rise. We're about to leave very, very soon. A few housekeeping items. Someone left their car keys and their phone. So if you're looking for your car keys and your phone, and you have proof of ownership, so just come and see us after, please. Proof of ownership, very, very important. The chassis number. So this is for you, FD. There's a gentleman called Korede. He wants to see you.
Okay, yeah. Sorry,
now,
where's Korede? Okay, just a quick one. Guys, I want you to do me a favor. A few years ago, this gentleman volunteered his life for about a year and 2 years to work for free on a mission that we have called Gemstone. I told you what Gemstone was, a generation that is empowered, motivated, and instead to operate with natural excellence. And he was working with getting values into secondary school children. And we were giving out cards like this. We've given out over 420,000 of these cards for free to people. And it's just 10 values that we had there. And it says, make a positive impact on everyone you meet and everywhere you go. Be a solution provider and not a part of the problem to be solved. Be a role model worthy of emulation. Be your best in all you do, particularly what you're naturally good at. Can you hear him? He's reciting it because he knows it by heart. Do the right thing at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong thing. Value time and make the best use of it. Care and show respect to all through your words and your actions. Consciously build a great legacy starting now, today, and every day. Live a life of integrity and honor and make your family, your nation, and your God proud. And this is the values that we were spreading out to secondary schools, primary schools, and universities. And he and a couple of other guys were working on the secondary school element. And, you know, he sacrificed his life for it. He told me, he said, I can't wait to see you because all the things I learned at that time is what I'm using today to do the things that I'm supposed to do. So even though his assignment changed, his purpose is being fulfilled. Does anybody understand? What I want you to do for me is I want you to please help me appreciate him for the time that he gave to this. Thank you, Korede. I love you so much. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you. Korede now lives in Dubai with his wife, his beautiful wife, right? And so if at any point in time you want to be able to connect with someone who really has an understanding of making other people's lives better, I want you to please connect with Korede today. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Korede. Korede, don't leave afterwards. I would love to connect with you just to kind of get your contact details. All right. There is an African food festival that is happening concurrently, and I know most of you are already giving me your eyes. We've eaten into your time. Apologies. We're going to go straight there now if you already had that planned, so we don't delay any longer. But how many of you believe today that the sacrifice of coming here was worth it? All right. Well, all glory belongs to God. One more